On behalf of Palanpur Samaj Kendra and Palanpur Online, I extend a very warm welcome to you on this Sunday morning. I would request Arun Bhai to come up and set the context for us, explain the rationale behind today's event, the purpose and the reasoning why we are holding this event. Just before that, a request that could you please switch your mobile to silent or vibrate mode. We may not get calls Sunday morning, but we don't want the speakers. I think it would be our respect to the speakers and the panelists that the mobile remains switched off. So at least it's vibrate or silent mode. Thank you. Okay.
Jai Jinendra, and a welcome to all of you. Palanpur Samaj Kendra and Palanpur Online has organized a panel discussion, or probably we can say it seminar, on a very interesting subject. And I would say that this may not be the last one. We have opened the chapters and furthermore discussion will continue till we get a satisfactory result. I would like to mention one very important thing here. There are two things will come in the mind. Why? How come this seminar is taking place and who has provoked it? And secondly, why at this point of time? We keep on talking and discussing within the family and the friends that is the diamond business is so lucrative what it was? If not, what we should do it? Individually or jointly? And this talks has been spread out, and probably one of the leader, I'm mentioning leader as a proactive for the industry, a person you all know called Bakul Bhai Mehta. Normally we tell him Bakul Bhai Birla, and if he has not taken this initiative, this seminar would not have taken place. And the second question, why at this point of time? Some of the things I will speak in Gujarati, and if the youngsters doesn't understand, their seniors and guardians will explain them in English, so they can also understand and enjoy these talks. Exactly 50 years before, आती 50 वर्ष पहला, I have just started a manufacturing business, rough processing business in my diamond industry. My age was something around 20. Of course, my first deal was a stone at the age of 18. I bought for rupees 25 and I went to Bhuleshwar to sell for 27. So made 2 rupees at the age of 18. Probably if it is drops today from anybody's pocket, no youngster will get banned and pick it up. But anyway, 50 વર્ષ પહેલા જ્યારે એક રફ લીધી, ત્રીજો ચોથો પાંચમો વેપાર હતો, it came into discussion કે આ રફ મોંઘી ગણાય કે સસ્તી ગણાય? Is it right price or it is expensive? અમારા બજારમાં એ વખતે રફની અંદર very few experts were there. એ કોઈપણ જાતના equipment, machinery વગર they can understand in a very best manner. So I went to very well-known person, and probably some of my generation people will know him. He was Kanubhai Punamchand Shah. Jabardast rough samajhta tha. Me and my mama went to him and showing the rough. And he said, this is what we bought for 125 rupees a carat. He looked at it for maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then he says, it's not worth buying. You should not have bought it. So we got disappointed. Then after a month and two, we did polish. And the result was good. We made at least 25% profit. So I went to him. I said, look at the polish and we are making 25% profit. Why did you say it is not worth? તો એને મને ગુજરાતીમાં બહુ સરસ કીધું, please explain to youngsters what exactly I am telling you in Gujarati. કે સવાયા તો આખું ગામ કરે, દોઢા થાય ત્યારે કહેવા આવજે કે. અને આજે હું મારા દીકરાને પૂછું કે મારી ટીમને પૂછું કે શું લાગે છે આ રફમાં, ઇઝ ઇટ વર્થ, તો કે કોસ્ટ થઈ જશે, આપણને લાગત થઈ જશે. હવે જો 50 વર્ષ પછી આટલો મોટો ચેન્જ આવ્યો હોય તો આઈ થિંક ઇટ ઇઝ અ વેરી એબ્સોલ્યુટલી અ રાઇટ ટાઈમ that we should analyze our business thoroughly. Before that, also I would like to mention that diamond business cannot be done individually. There has to be a team. Like cricket, one person cannot play. There has to be a team. And within the team, you need a two caliber. One, a player of class, and secondly, a player in form. If you are one out of two, you cannot success. But if you are both in your team, there are chances. And I am sure panelists, ની અંદર જે પરાગભાઈ, રસેલ, નીરવ, and then Rajiv, they all will explain you in detail, and we will really enjoy how the things move on. હમણાં એક્ઝેક્ટલી જે આપણા ડાયમંડ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં બની રહ્યું છે અને અત્યારે જે આપણું સ્ટેટસ છે ને, એ થોડા વખત પહેલાં પાલનપુર ગયેલો ને ત્યાં એક ઠાકોરભાઈ કરીને પ્રોમિનન્ટ પર્સન છે અને એનું મેઇન બિઝનેસ છે ફાર્મિંગનું. મોટી મોટી વાડીઓ બનાવે છે, એને આપણે ફાર્મ કહીએ, અને જાત જાતના અખતરા કરીને સારા સારા પ્રોડક્ટ બનાવીને સારા પૈસા કમાય છે. સો આઈ વેન્ટ ટુ સી ઠાકોરભાઈ. હાઉ ઠાકોરભાઈ, હાઉ આર યુ? લાઈક આઈ એમ ફાઇન. No, Thakurbai, tell me, with this drought, you get affected. તમારી કમાણી ઓછી થઈ. મને કહ્યું ભાઈ ઘણી ઓછી થઈ ગઈ છે. હાવ યુ સર્વાઈવ? અમારા પ્રેઝન્ટેશનમાં નિરૂપાબેન ટાઈમ ટુ ટાઈમ કહે કે લેટ અસ ટોક અબાઉટ સર્વાઈવલ. અને somebody of the panelists say, when will we talk about making profit? It was a very interesting conversation. સો ઠાકોરભાઈ મને શું કીધું ખબર છે, જે આપણે એક્ઝેક્ટલી આપણા છોકરાઓને કહી શકીએ કે ભાઈ હવાડા સુકાઈ ગયા છે પણ કૂવામાં પાણી છે. એટલે કે મારી કમાણી નથી પણ મારા બાપ દાદા જે કમાઈને મૂકીને ગયેલા છે તે છે. એનીવે, આપણા પેનલિસ્ટ સિવાય મોડરેટર છે નિરૂપાબેન. સી ઇઝ અ ફેન્ટાસ્ટિક લેડી. આઈ વુડ સે કે એમના હાથમાં મિડાસ ટચ છે. જે કંપનીને અડે છે ને જે બિઝનેસને એ ટચ કરે છે તે રિયલી ખૂબ જ આગળ વધે છે. લગભગ 20 વર્ષ કે કદાચ 22 વર્ષ પહેલાં રિયો ટિન્ટો, દે ઓલ્સો કેમ ઇન્ટુ માઇનિંગ અને કેનેડામાં માઇન કરી. આરગાઈ ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયામાં એમનું પ્રોડક્શન શરૂ થયું અને પછી એમણે જોયું કે રિયો ટિન્ટો કે ભાઈ ટુ માર્કેટ ધ મેજર ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ માર્કેટ ઇઝ ઇન્ડિયા. They wanted to open an office in India. They were looking for premises, કે કોઈ મોટી જગ્યા, સારી જગ્યા મળે. બીકે બીડીબી કે એવું બધું હતું નહીં, એટલે they were looking for premises. શોધતા શોધતા એક પ્રિમાઇસીસમાં ગયા અને ત્યાં નિરૂપાબેન હતા એમની જૂની કંપનીના અંદર એઝ એ સ્ટાફ મેમ્બર. રિયો ટિન્ટો આખી ઓફિસ જોઈ લીધી અને પછી એ ઓફિસ જોયા પછી કીધું કે ના, ઓફિસ તો લેવી છે પણ સાથે સાથે તમે નિરૂપાબેનને આપો તો જ અમારે ઓફિસ લેવી છે. અને વી કેન સી ધ રિઝલ્ટ કે ફોર 19 years she has served the Rio Tinto, and Rio Tinto, which was not in diamond business, has become a very important player in diamond mining and distributing. And then after she is in JIA, well-known name to all of us. એના શર્ટ વગર તો હવે હીરા વેચાતા જ નથી. લોકો હીરો નથી જોતા, પહેલાં સર્ટિફિકેટ જોવા માગે છે. અને એના એ એમડી છે એશિયા, મિડલ ઇસ્ટ વગેરેના. વેરી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ લેડી છે. અને એમને જે આ મોડરેટ કરવાનું અને જે રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટી લીધી છે અને જે પ્રેઝન્ટેશન એ કરવાના છે, આઈ એમ શ્યોર વી ઓલ વિલ એન્જોય. રાજાભાઈ, 10 કન્ટિન્યુ કે તમે another 5 minutes? આપણે બી એવું જ હોય છે ઘણી વાર જ્યારે મેઇન ડિશની રાહ જોતા હોય ને ત્યાં વચ્ચે વચ્ચે લોકો મૂક્યા કરે પેલો કપાય પણ હવે ખાવાનું તો લાવ આગળ. તો આપણો ડાયમંડ બિઝનેસ અને ડાયમંડ હિસ્ટ્રી વિથ પાલનપુરીઝ, we can go back to up to 100 years. We were all serving Nawab of Palanpur when we were based in Palanpur. Of course, એ પહેલાં તો આપણે ઘણા નોર્થમાંથી આવેલા, somebody says Marwar and some other places. These 100 years I would like to divide in 250. First 50 and second 50. 1910 and 1960, those 50 years has converted ourselves or converted Palanpuris from a different areas to a diamond business. My father was telling me that when his father, so my grandfather, when they came, they were doing the brokerage of pearls. There was a fisheries and there was a diving people in Middle East and pearls were coming here and we were cleaning and making necklaces. અને પછી તમે મોતીને વેચો અને એમાં તમને દલાલી મળે. અને એ વખતે લોકો એમ કહેતા હતા કે મોતીની દલાલીમાં એટલે કે પરની દલાલીમાં તો હીરાનો વેપાર આવી જાય, એટલો મોટો ધંધો હતો. કોઈ પાલનપુરી બિગ પ્લેયર મોતીના ધંધામાં હતું નહીં. એ લોકો બધે બ્રોકરેજમાં ને એમાં જ કમાણી કરતા હતા અથવા તો લઈને બીજાને વેચી નાખતા હતા. Then the big chunk came in અને ત્યાં જાપાનમાં કલ્ચરલ પલ્સ શોધાયા અને એનું માર્કેટિંગ શરૂ થયું અને રિયલ પલ્સનો માર્કેટ એકદમ ક્રેશ થઈ ગયો. અને those who were a big businessmen in pearls, a big companies, very worthy, has become almost like penniless. So this is the lesson one should keep in mind, that whether should we put 100% eggs in one basket, should we worry about CVD or synthetic, or should we measure our risk on years to come. પછી તો મોતીનો ધંધો રહ્યો નહીં, મોતીની દલાલી રહી નહીં, એટલે પાલનપુરીઓએ they started buying old jewelries of princely states. એને બધા હીરા રિકટ કરે, પરબમાંથી ચોકીઓ બની, પરબ એટલે પેલા ફ્લેટ ડાયમંડ્સ ને એમાંથી ચોકીઓ બની. મિચલમાંથી અરવિંદભાઈને ખબર છે, મિચલ કટના હીરાઓ લઈ લઈને એ લોકો રાઉન્ડ બનાવતા ને એમાં ડિસ્કશન કરતા કે 60% વજન આવશે કે 58 આવશે. અને એ રીતે this is all expertise came to Palanpuris. એ ધંધો સારો ચાલ્યો અને 1960 પછી I would say કે આપણે લોકો રફ પોલિશિંગ અને પ્રોસેસિંગમાં we went deeply into that. અને 1962-63ની અંદર જે ચાઇનાનું એગ્રેશન થયું, we had a war at north east border. હીરાના ભાવ 15-20% ઘટી ગયા. લોકો ગભરાઈ ગયા કે આટલો બધો લોસ કેવી રીતે સસ્ટેન થશે. અને એ વખતે આપણા મોટા વેપારીઓ, those who are in contact with Anchob and other offices, they have bought polished diamonds in a big way, exported those diamonds, and these diamonds which has been exported got popular in international market. And then after, I would say that the policy has been framed by Government of India. We started on a very normal course of exports diamonds and getting imported raw material of rough diamonds, as well as there was an incentive by way of importing chemicals and machineries where there was a big premium. India was growing, so we were growing. So it's one important point I would like to say, that if we want to grow, if we want to become a wealthy country, has to become in a growth panel and it has to be wealthy. Today, and then I have a long list at what has happened during the years, but there are very few examples I will say. In 1966, there was a devaluation. Rupee was 475 to a dollar, becomes 7 rupees and 50. 57% devaluation. And we were very limited cost in dollars. Most of the people were buying in rupees, and so the balance sheet has gone very fatty, and everybody has made big money in those days, and that was a turning point on a first chapter on a growth path of diamond industry. Then the Pakistan war in 65, 71, again Bangladesh had become independent. And in 74, there was a big oil crisis. And a side to India in December 74 was just $800,000. Bare minimum. અત્યારે તો $8 લાખ તો મને લાગે આમ shipping charges થતો હશે ત્યાંથી export કરવામાં. So this is a very low level. 75 BTC realized that if they want to support diamond industry in India, they need to rearrange their prices, they need to reassort their goods, and it has been done. And then again, we had a important and interesting moving. 78, 79, we all should know and remember that the year of inflation, silver went $55, gold $850, 1 carat diamond D flawless become $70,000, and everybody was dancing. પ્રસાદ ચંબનના 16મે માળે સવારે તમે પડીકું વેચો અને સાંજના ફરી તમે પાછું ખરીદો અને 10-15% નફો આપી દીધો હોય. To make money was very easy and also crazy, I would say. અને પછી all boom, get bust, અને the price which was 70,000 came down to 12,000 or 10,000, and first 15 international companies based in Antwerp, out of 15, 10 got bust. For India ne scratch nahi આવ્યો કારણ કે we were in the small diamonds and we have continued our business. Of course we did loss, but it wasn't like impact what international industry has got. And then again I would say that the suppliers to rough diamond came to India and says, we promise we will definitely supply you continuously, because they don't have any other customers. We'll supply you constantly, even the stones and sewable will be your areas, please look into it. So this is how we have grown. 85 we went into a jewelry business, and jewelry business is supporting our diamond polishing, and then some of the company went into retail. So every crisis we came out successfully. But I would say that second 50 got over by 2010, and this is now the last 3 years, and one can feel that it's getting more and more difficult. જેમાં અત્યારના પૂછે છે ને કે કોસ્ટ થઈ જશે, હા થઈ જશે, એ વિચારો ઉપર આપણે આવી ગયા છીએ. And if I talk about world economy, we are not in a right situation. You know about Europe status, you know what is happening in Japan also, there is no growth. There are no mining company is promoting diamonds as a generic diamonds. It is all burden to the manufacturing centers. And this also they mention that if you make 7% gross, you should be happy. So within 7%, you pay tax, you spend for your establishment cost, you pay bank interest, and also you want to promote these generic diamonds. I think every year we keep on reducing our capital. Does it need a attention to change into it? The panel will discuss on this. Also for India, once upon a time GDP was 10% growth. We all were happy, and we thought then we are second to China, and we have sidelines USA, UK, Japan, Germany, France, Italy, and you keep on counting. Today, I don't think that we are on that list. And also, we are united family, we have made money, we kept money in the business, and with the full of ethics, we have continued our march. I don't know whether we still will carry that or not. let the panel people answer on that also. Thank you very much.
Namaskar. Thank you, Arun Bhai, for your kind words. And I want to also thank Bakul Bhai, Bharat Bhai, Sanjay Bhai, and all others for giving me this opportunity and consider me to be a part of this industry, to be able to work with all of you. What I am today is what I have learned from very lot of seniors who are here, starting from Arun Bhai, Shanti Bhai, Kirti Bhai, who is here. So I want to thank all of you for your time and all that you have taught me, and this is probably my way of saying thank you and giving back to what I can do for you. I'm also learning in the process. Today's agenda, we started with Arun Bhai, and he has explained, and I think put forward in very clear words where we are today and the dilemma that we are all kind of confronted with. I will take about 20-25 minutes to really explain a little more about and elaborate on what Arun Bhai spoke about in some ways. And then it will be followed by a panel discussion for almost an hour, all well-known names in the industry with very varied experience. And we will take questions from the audience for about half an hour or so. So if I may begin. The industry, and as Arun Bhai also mentioned, that we have seen significant growth here in India, not 10% now, but certainly over 6% in the past couple of years. And we still continue to remain one of the growing economies in the world. The other economies have started declining or are not growing. So India still remains a growing economy. The purchasing power of the individuals here is still rising. We have a very strong middle class, and there are significant opportunities here in this marketplace. When we look at our country and see, it amazes me. There are still parts of India where there is no electricity. They get together in groups and watch, bring a generator, a van, watch a movie or a cricket match here as a group. And there are times when we are not able to get a seat on the business class. We are a very diverse country, and we have places where we have plush cinema halls with a private dining area as well. Next. No, go back. One more. Indian doctors and engineers are known globally, and they occupy top spots in various global organizations. We build F1 circuit, which we are very proud of, but we still cannot build the infrastructure to meet our needs. So who are we? Where do we want to belong? Which kind of India do we want to be in? That's a question that we need to ask ourselves. We still go, and the bazaars are very popular, and we have very swanky shops. We all have a choice. Where do we want to live? Nothing is bad. There is no right and wrong. We all have a choice, and we all make, and based on the choice that we make, there will be consequences which we will have to live with. And that is the question which we are asking. આપણે કયા કાળમાં જીવવાનું છે? આપણને પાસ્ટમાં રહેવું છે? પાસ્ટની ગ્લોરી જે આપણી હતી એનો જ વિચાર કરવો છે કે આપણે ફ્યુચરમાં જવું છે? અને જો ફ્યુચરમાં જવું હોય તો what kind of challenges do we have? And well, let's look around. આપણી આજુબાજુમાં કેવા ચેન્જીસ થયા છે એના ઉપર એક નજર કરીએ. અને જેમ અરુણભાઈએ હમણાં કીધું એમ, there are lots of challenges we have. But if we look at our history and the past, why did we have a lamp? Because there was darkness, a lamp was invented. Because there was fog, a compass was invented. Because there was hunger, there were drought, the Green Revolution kind of came into existence or came about. A depression, in the developed economies taught us what the real value of job is. Is this a time where we are really at the crossroads? And is this a time where we really have to examine our past, build on the future as to where do we go from here? So we certainly are at a crossroads. For parents, do we get our young daughter and son in the business? For many young people who are here, do I get into this business? Are there other opportunities? So there are several questions that all of us have. So let's talk about, and we always think that it is our industry which has changed. We believe we are the only one who are suffering. We often believe આટલું બધું બીજે કે અમને દેખાતું નથી. આપણે આજુબાજુ થોડી નજર કરીએ કે ચેન્જ દરેક જગાએ છે. લેટ્સ સ્ટાર્ટ વિથ અવર ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી. આપણી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં જ્યારે પહેલાં એક કે બે જ સોર્સ હતા 15 વર્ષ પહેલાં. એન્ટવર્પ ગયા, રફ લીધી, મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ કર્યું, પોલિશ વેચ્યું, the value chain was finished. Things have changed very significantly now. The rough supply has fragmented. There are no guarantees. There are more tender processes. There is more bidding. The supply chain is shrinking. As a result, khali polish vechi ne tame kaam puru nathi kari shakta. So all that complexity, the question we have to ask is, where am I going to fit? Where is my slot? In this big industry, which is so complex, how am I going to find my place? In what is my place? That is the question. Many of, or at least some of you, and Arun Bhai mentioned, I can see Kirti Bhai, Arvind Bhai, probably them, and many others, your fathers, grandfathers, when they came to Mumbai from Alanpur, they probably had પેઢી. ઝવેરી બજારમાં પેઢીમાં બેસીને આપણે કામ કરતા હતા. એમાંથી હવે આપણે પ્લસ ઓફિસીસમાં ચેન્જ થયા. આપણું માઇન્ડસેટ ચેન્જ થયું. આપણે ત્યારે જે કામ કરતા હતા અને હવે જે કામ કરીએ છીએ, આપણે કેવી રીતે માણસો સાથે કામ કરીએ, સપ્લાયર, કસ્ટમર, એન્ડ હાઉ ડુ વી બિલ્ડ ટીમ્સ ફ્રોમ ધેટ ટાઈમ ટુ ધીસ ટાઈમ? હેવ વી ચેન્જ? લેટ્સ જસ્ટ આસ્ક અવરસેલ્વ્સ ધીસ ક્વેશ્ચન. The reason why I am bringing all this out is many of you may already have thought about this. Many of you may already have the answers. Some of us may not have the answers. So the question is today, why are we here today? Again, something that Bakul Bhai mentioned when this actually started off was that there are lots of questions and there are no easy answers and there is no right and wrong answers. What we are trying to bring about is put everything on the table. When things go well, and we talked about the depreciating rupee, things were okay. We were not really concerned. We were not really so much worried about what was happening. We were building our capital in the local currency and things were going fine. And we were kind of normally comfort bring complacency. I just want to talk a little bit about cricket here, which is so important, or which to drive home the point. Who, from the audience, if someone can tell me, who do we think is a good captain for India? Who wins? So who is doing that for us now? Dhoni. Why do we like him? He is constantly challenging the status quo. What is he doing? And the change in the cricket happened with Sourav Ganguly. Till then, we used to be kind of, okay, chale che, Ajit Wadekar che, ne Sunil Gavaskar che, all great cricketers. But still, Sourav Ganguly came in and he had that conviction. He forced his way and he said, this is how I am going to play. He made a choice. There were consequences. Ian Chappell didn't like him. He had to leave. He left. But he has left a mark on the cricket and he changed the game forever. And look what followed. Dhoni. Let's talk about another icon. And this is again a dilemma that we all have. મારી પાસે અત્યારે જે કામ છે, મારો જે ધંધો છે, હું મારી રીતે કરું, બીજાનું સાંભળું, મારા ધંધામાં મારા બચ્ચાઓ આવે છે, મારા નેવ્યુ આવે છે, ભત્રીજાઓ છે, whatever, how am I going to move forward? Take example of Sachin Tendulkar. Great player, no doubt, no questions. He became captain for I think just couple of 1 or 2 years. He gave up the captaincy. And why? He said, I want to concentrate, focus on my game. I'm not able to do a good job of being a captain. And that goes back to, are you informed? Do you have the expertise? What is your core competency? Certainly all of us are not everything. Let's take example of recent IPL. Ricky Ponting was the captain of the Mumbai team. He played couple of games and then he gave up. He said, I'm not making runs. I am not able to lead my team from front. I will not remain the captain. Sachin Tendulkar also was a captain earlier. He had given up. He said, I won't be the captain. Who did they bring in? Rohit Sharma. Was it a very pleasant surprise? That young man, I remember a few years ago when the question was asked, why wasn't he playing well? He said, I'm playing my natural game, that's how I do, etc. How much the coaching of these elder, experienced cricketers has helped him to be where he is. We all have the resources around us, within our teams, within our families. The question is, are we actually open to look around and are we seeing that? Innovation is everywhere. In our industry also the innovation has happened. In diamond cutting also a lot of innovation has happened. But my question is, and I want to challenge you here, have we innovated or someone else did the innovation and we are only applying those technologies? What innovations did we actually bring in our business? That is a question I think we need to ask ourselves and say, what do we need to do to really change the way we are doing our business? And often we feel that even our industry, only our industry has changed. Let's talk about the entertainment industry for a couple of minutes. This industry was dominated mainly by the families. RK Studios, Raj Kapoor, Yash Raj, Sippy family and others. And they were the only producers, they were the only games in town. What's happened now? In the last few years, you have so many corporates who have entered. Reliance now produces movie, Bollywood and Hollywood both. Actors like Shah Rukh Khan have collaborated with other actors like Joey Chawla and formed a corporation called Red Chilli Entertainment. And they are producing movie, they are directing, and they are hiring teams to do those jobs. They even hire actors to do it's not that they only act in the films. Are there any lessons to be learned from there? We have very successful houses like Yash Raj Films or Karan Johar. They themselves have achieved great success. What do? They bring in young directors and they say, here is my platform. Tell me your idea. I am giving you the platform. Please, can we direct a movie? And can we entertain? So what is their ultimate objective? Not how am I managing. What he or what they are saying is, why do I exist? The entertainment industry exists to entertain. So they are looking at, if I have X number of ideas, can I bring others who can bring Y number of ideas, and can we really give value to our clients? And I think let's ask ourselves that question. Are we really collaborating? Are we really valuing the expertise? Are we really bringing in talents to really bring value to our industry? And when we look at our industry, how have we changed from where we were to what we are? I remember when I joined a few years ago, many years ago now, is that the diamond polishing was considered as a labor intensive. I remember આર્ગાઇલમાં અમે રોજ મારા મારીને ઝઘડો કરતા હતા, કેટલા ટકા લેબર છે ને રૂપિયાને આમ થશે તો શું થશે વગેરે વગેરે. આજે શું છે? આજે labor of course is very important. Skills, we have changed the word. From labor intensive, we are now saying it is skill intensive and technology intensive. So it is not that anyone who wants to, જેમને પણ પોલિશિંગ કરવું હોય કે 4 કે 6 કે 10, 25, 50 તમે wheels લાવ્યા અને you start manufacturing, it isn't that. So even that paradigm, that mindset is now challenged. We are talking about change. The farmers now have access to the communication. તો ડીસામાં જે ભાઈ બેઠા છે રમેશભાઈ કે જે એ ફોન કરીને પૂછે છે કે આજે વરિયાળીનો ભાવ શું છે કે આજે જીરાનો ભાવ શું છે ને એની પછી એ નક્કી કરે છે કે મારે હવે આજે શું ભાવમાં વેચવું. Even that industry has changed. So why are we complaining that we are having difficulties? These changes have challenged everyone and we are no exception. Even our kirana stores have changed. રજનીકાબેનને યાદ હશે પહેલાં આપણે દુકાનમાં જતા ને ત્યાં ઊભા રહીને એની લિસ્ટ કહેતા એટલે એ ભાઈ લાવીને આપણને આપે ને આપણે બધો ઘરે સામાન લઈ જતા. હવે શું કરો છો? ફોન કરીને બોલાવો ઓર ઓનલાઈનથી ખરીદો. આ બધું ચેન્જ થયું છે. સો ધ પોઈન્ટ આઈ એમ મેકિંગ ઇઝ દેટ એન્ટાયર વર્લ્ડ, ઓલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝ હેવ ચેન્જ. સો લેટ્સ નોટ pity ourselves. Let's not say that we are the only one who are having difficulties. There is change all around us. Is it a challenge? Of course it is a challenge. One point I would like to really bring about here is about women in our industry. I really don't see many women in the industry. The women have changed the way they dress, the way they present themselves. Their aspirations have changed. Are we really providing them platform to present themselves? Are we really utilizing their capabilities, their skills? If no, why not? I think that's such a significant resource which is available all within here, in this industry, within the families. And I think it's a pity that we are not really utilizing their skills. We are not giving them the opportunities, I believe. From what I have seen, as much as I think, and we could really make a big difference there. The other big change is the choice. Everyone has a choice. Today, do we have to be in the diamond industry? Can we explore other industries? How has things changed? And especially when we look at the industry, it has become much more integrated and complex, especially because the value chain has shrunk. We came from Palanpur to Navsari, Surat, Mumbai, we went to Antwerp, New York, Hong Kong. The extent to which we have really imbibed the environment in our work practices. How much have we really taken advantage of those? I'm not saying just in the industry. Each of those regions that we are mentioning here have a different way how they perform all their businesses. I'm not talking specifically about the diamond and jewelry industry. And I think there is a lot to learn, and we certainly will benefit if we were to do that. And so it is a challenge. Change હંમેશા મુશ્કેલી ઊભી કરે એવું આપણું માનવું છે. અને યસ, ટુ અ ગ્રેટ એક્સટેન્ટ ઇટ ડઝ. જે રીતે બદલાવ આવે છે ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં, it has not happened overnight. It's not easy. But I believe, I am an optimist. And more than me, I think everyone who is sitting here is an optimist. All diamandaires by nature, I believe, are optimists. And that is why I am very confident that any habit can be reshaped. I am very confident that all of you have the power, the skills, the capabilities, and the desire and wherewithal, and the platforms like this where you can exchange information and really change the way we work. I want to share a couple of examples just to kind of create some thoughts in your mind. How have people coped with changes in the past? What did J.R.D. Tata do? He started small businesses. He started the airline, not small in those days. He started the airline. When Ratan Tata joined the industry, he was an engineer from Harvard and he did his studies there. When he came into the industry, the group actually wasn't really prepared to give him the charge. He was put in charge of a small engineering firm that Tata's had in MIDC, Andheri, called Nelco. And many of you who travel to Seeps would know, when you take a left turn from Holy Family, that is the factory, which ultimately closed down, and I don't think it's in the business anymore. People did not think he would perform. There was no confidence in him. Look what that man has done. That means there were hidden talents which were not very obvious, but he was given a platform. He has transformed entire Tata enterprise. They got out of all the businesses which were not their core competencies. And they have now a formidable name, be it automobile, be it telecommunications and the others. So that is the lesson. Let us please look where is the talent available. Let us encourage them. These three gentlemen, they are very passionate. They started, of course, very small. Steve Jobs, everyone knows, started in a garage. Narayan Murthy, Azim Premji, they all started small. And of course, now they are very big. Why have they become so big? મોટા થવાનું કારણ ઘણા બધા છે. એક ખાસ કારણ છે કે એ લોકોએ બરોબર ટીમને હાયર કરી, ટીમને તૈયાર કરી, ટીમને એમ્પાવર કરી કે તમે આ કામ કરી શકો છો. દે હેવ અ ફ્રેમવર્ક કે તમે આ ફ્રેમવર્કમાં કામ કરી શકો છો. આપણી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં થોડું હેઝિટેશન છે આ કરવા માટે, એવું મને લાગે છે. And I think we have to ask ourselves, can we not hire people? We do career fairs and we have people કે ના ઓળખીતા હોય તો જ અમારી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં ચાલે. Is it time that we challenge that? Is it time we kind of not really remain within those confines કે આમ જ કામ કરવું જોઈએ? And the other question is, are these gentlemen passionate about their business or about their family? I think there is a very fine line being passionate about my business and being passionate about my family. What do we want? Am I passionate about my family? Then I will do whatever. I don't care for business. I'm going to support my family. Am I passionate about my business? I will make sure I go all out and be successful. Again, there is no right and wrong. You make a choice. And the choice that you make and the consequences will be yours. You may be successful, not successful, that you will decide. As what do I want? But that is a choice all of us must make. આપણે અત્યારે છે ને આમ બોલા મજધાર જેવું છે, બિઝનેસ પણ જોવે છે, પછી ફેમિલી પણ જોવે છે. That all is not going to work, especially in the challenging environment that we live in. And that is where બહુ જરૂરી છે કે આપણે આ ક્લેરિટી હોય. I remember once I was listening to Adi Godrej and he said how he brings in his children in the family. એ કે મારી કંપનીમાં એ લોકો એકદમ નાના શોપ ફ્લોરથી ચાલુ કરે, પણ એ જેને રિપોર્ટ કરે ને, those guys will never ever report to that young man in his lifetime. Now that is a great respect that you can give to the professionals that you have in your industry, in your businesses. Can we do that? I'm not saying this is the answer, but there are several examples which are available. Again, this is the education, expertise, these are all intangibles. Again, please મને માફ કરજો, મેં જો એવું કંઈ કહું જે કદાચ વાત સાચી ન લાગે તમને. આપણે ઇન્ટેન્જિબલને બહુ માન નથી આપતા ઓર રિસ્પેક્ટ નથી આપતા. I was listening, આપણે એરપોર્ટ પર હમણાં જોયું છે, there is a new store, it has been there for 2-3 years now, called William Penn. Have you all seen that? That is owned by a young man called Nikhil Ranjan. He is from Mangalore. He is an engineer. He used to work for IBM. His father has a stationery shop where they sell pencil, sharpener, file, paper, એવું બધું વેચે છે. આ ભાઈ આઈબીએમમાં કામ કરતા હતા, પછી કે હવે કંટાળો આવે છે મને આ રોજનું રોજ પ્રોગ્રામિંગ ને બધું નથી કરવું, સો આઈ વોન્ટ ટુ સ્ટાર્ટ સમથિંગ ઓન માય ઓન. સો હી સ્ટાર્ટેડ. સો બાપુજીએ કીધું શું કરીશ ભાઈ? તો કે મને થોડા પૈસા આપો, મારી પાસે થોડા બચેલા છે. તો કે આટલા છે 10,000, તારે જે કરવું હોય એ કર. હી સ્ટાર્ટેડ હિઝ બિઝનેસ. બટ ફાધર સેડ યુ વિલ ટોક ટુ મી વોટ યુ આર ડુઈંગ. તો કે ફાઇન, ફેર ઇનફ. He started doing and building his business, and he said he realized that the vision that he had for him to grow, if he did not hire the right people, he would not grow. So he got HR consultant. નહીં કે મારે 50,000 એને આપવાના હતા. So he went to his father and said કે મારે 50,000 consultant ને લેવા છે, so that I can hire the right people, I can have right systems in place, so that I can retain my team, I can motivate them and I can achieve. એટલે ગાડો થઈ ગયો છે. 50,000 HR કન્સલ્ટન્ટને અપાતા હશે, શું લઈ આવશે? તારો ધંધો શું વધી જશે? Now he had no answer. He could not have said કે મારો ધંધો કેટલો વધી જશે હું આને લાવું તો. But he said, I went against my father's wish because I brought in my own money and I said, તમે ના પાડો છો, please let me do this. I am taking this risk. And today he says that was the best decision that he took in the very early days of his life. That is the investment in the expertise, investment in the talent. Talent can be in your family, it can be in your teams, તમે hire કરો, it can be any of those. Especially when we are, જ્યારે આપણને તકલીફ એવું હોય ને ત્યારે આપણે નોર્મલ હ્યુમન ટેન્ડન્સી છે, મારી પણ ટેન્ડન્સી છે, કાંઈ ન હોય તો હું કહું આણે બરોબર ન કરવું ને એટલે આ કામ બરોબર નથી થયું. We are in difficulties because of someone else, because of some others. What we are discussing here, આજે આપણે જે વાતચીત કર્યા છે, it is about us. It is not about others. It is not what others have done or not done, because of which we are here or we are having difficulties. So let's just remain focused on ourselves. And to end, as far as the success is concerned, I would say the top on the list to be successful is the passion. You must have the passion. તમે જે કામ કરો છો એમાં એટલો પ્રેમ તમને હોવો જોઈએ, એ હશે જ, એટલે જ બધા રવિવારે સવારે અહીંયા આવ્યા છો, એટલીસ્ટ જે છે અહીંયા. પણ I think this is really important, and we are going to discuss a little more on this with the panel, so I will not really dwell more on that. And let us please remind ourselves, because I was successful yesterday, that is no guarantee I'll be successful tomorrow. And if I fail today, that's not end of the world. And when I say fail, that means I am not as successful as I wanted to be. But that's not the end of the world. Things happen. It's the courage. Can we put mobile phones on silent, please? What is really important is to be able to continue. And let's have a dialogue. Let's go to the experts. Let's hear others. Let's learn from each other. Let's share and then move forward. I'm actually not really, I had these slides, but I'm not really going to talk about this because Arun Bhai really learned. And when I was asked કે હું આ કરી શકું કામ, ત્યારે હું actually મેં પાલનપુર ગૂગલ થોડું સર્ચ કર્યું ને એમાં મેં જો વાંચ્યું કે જે ઓરિજિનલ નવાબ જ્યારે આવ્યા જાલોરથી લઈને આવ્યા ત્યારે એમની સાથે જે ગ્રુપ આવ્યું, they were Rajputs. Many of you may be your ancestors may be Rajputs. Who are Rajputs? They are survivors. They would have difficulties. But do they give up? No, never. So that is what we have to do. We must find what the problems are, we must address them, and I think we can. So that is what we are. And one of the USPs of Palanpur that has struck me so strongly is the second point that I make there, is the industrious and the entrepreneurial skills. All of you are entrepreneurs. It is in your blood. તમારા લોહીમાં છે ધંધો કરવાનો. તમને એમાં મજા આવે છે. It's actually like an addiction for all of you. આજે તમને કોઈ કહે કે આજે ઓફિસમાં નહીં જાઓ, ઘરે બેસો, I think all of you will go crazy. But you go to office and work and you would love that. And I think that is so important. Other people would want that. You already have it. So in terms of the issues that we have amongst different things that we talked about are the rough issues that we talk about, which I touched upon earlier, કે rough supply ઘણો fragment થઈ ગયો છે, bidding process વગેરે જે થઈ ગયું છે. The industry is production driven. We have always been talking about, and Sanjay Bhai has been shouting at the top of his voice and have been really working hard as far as with the many in the council about the promotion. And the question is, do we look beyond production? How can we look beyond production? And then again, do we depend on others if they are not willing to do it? Again, that's a question we need to ask ourselves. And one other factor which will really have more severe impact as we move forward, કે જે બેનિફિસિએશન કરવાનું વાત થઈ રહી છે, જે આફ્રિકાના પ્રોડ્યુસર્સ છે, કેનેડાના પ્રોડ્યુસર્સ છે, મોર આફ્રિકા આઈ વુડ સે, એ લોકો કહે છે કે અહીંયા જો રફ મળે છે તો તમે અહીંયા જ પોલિશ કરો, અહીંયા જ ફેક્ટરી નાખો. એના લીધે પણ રફની અવેલેબિલિટી જે છે ઇઝ રિલેટિવલી ઓછી થતી જાય છે. નવી માઇન હજી કોઈ એટલી મોટી મળી નથી. સો વી વિલ ઓલ હેવ ટુ મેક શ્યોર વી લુક ઇનવર્ડ્સ એન્ડ હાઉ ડુ વી એક્સપાન્ડ the pie that we have and how do we create the value added opportunities. We are not going to get more roughs than what we have today because no other new mine is found. So that is a challenge, and I think that's what we should be looking at. In terms, so we all have the dilemma, and the dilemma is the traditional business model je આપણું હતું, rough લીધી ગયા પાછું આવ્યા, that is under threat. That is not really working, and that is where we have to ask ourselves this question. Can I be in small business or do I have to be large? I'm not answering this. We have the expert the panel members, and I think we will ask these questions to them as well. And then what are the opportunities, be it jewelry? And again, let's ask ourselves this question, આટલું challenging હોય, હું કેવી રીતે આમાં મારી જગા બનાવી શકું છું? Again, in terms of going forward, often, and in the past we did trading, we did manufacturing, થોડું jewelry પણ કર્યું, થોડું wholesaling પણ કર્યું. The question is, આપણી core competency શું છે? Who am I, where am I expert, and how am I going to use what I have to move forward? That's what I think we should be talking about. And one other thing which we talk about, the consortium model and the consolidation, the collaboration. I gave example of the film industry. Is it ever possible that we can collaborate as a group and make a consortium? Each one has their own competency and then we work and then maybe do a better job and create more wealth for ourselves? I don't know. Again, we will ask the panel about this more. And the other very important question is, what is important? Do I just focus on creating wealth or should I also consider enhancing my reputations? This entire business મઝાલ પર ચાલે છે. Is it the way to go? Are we still doing that? And I think this is again a question that we will talk about when we have the panel up here. So before I bring in the panel, if I can just give you a couple of food for thoughts. આપણી ખાસિયત શું છે? USP, પાલનપુરી કમ્યુનિટીની ખાસિયત શું છે? Is it diamond manufacturing? Is it diamond buying? Is it polishing? Is it jewelry making? Or is it entrepreneurship? What is our USP? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Palanpur has done a tremendous job and has put India on the global map of the industry. How can we enhance that? And I talked about women. I would really urge all of you, I'm being selfish here, I like more women to come in the industry. And I really think that there are opportunities. Let's please look at them as individuals who have skills available. They are in our family, they are in our homes. How can we make sure we provide them platform? How can we empower them to contribute? So that's where I am. And this is a quote that I took from Russell. I have admired Russell for various reasons. I used to, when I joined the industry, there were only a couple of businesses who actually allowed me to enter their offices. Arun Bhai, Harshad Bhai was one of those first few ones. Otherwise, હું ત્યાં જાઉં ને મને કે હવે કામ નથી બેન તમે વયા જાઓ. હું આમ દરવાજો બંધ કરી દે. કેટલાય વર્ષો સુધી મારું એવું ચાલ્યું. પણ they used to, and I used to sit sometime with Harshad Bhai used to deal with Rav, so એમનું માથું ખાતી આ કેમ હોય, because I had no idea. I didn't know ABC of those things. And Russell used to sit in the next cabin. The only thing I would hear is his tremendous laughter. And I said, oh my God, this man is so jovial all the time. And I have always had this respect. And today also, I mean, I have heard him in Minds to Market. I've heard him in the World Diamond Congress. I think he is one who really has a big picture, but when he presents, he dives down. He gets into real details. So, and again, as everyone knows, he is, of course, part of the prestigious Rosy Blue Group. He joined the family business at a very young age and transformed this business from a family run to a very professionally wanting to meet people, because હું કોઈને મળું નહીં તો મને ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ન મળે તો મને સમજ જ ન પડે કે આ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી શું છે ને મારે આ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીને સમજવું મારી માટે બહુ જરૂરી હતું. That was my job. So I of course had to meet him. And I've of course met many people, very sharp, very entrepreneurial, everything. But I would say Rajiv is one of the sharpest diamond hair that I have met. And I think he has done a great job in not only taking their business to the next level, but I think the contribution he also is now making on the Palanpur, in the Vidya Mandir Trust and Palanpur Online is really commendable. So please help me to welcome Mr. Rajiv Mehta. I have been going to Surat for many years. And again, more than 25 years now. And in those very early days, I used to look for manufacturers who would be willing to give me some information or would talk to me. And I wasn't really sure who will give me that information. And amongst all of them, one person who I found was really open and he had no qualms. તમે કાંઈ પણ સવાલ પૂછો એને જે ખબર હોય એ તમને કહેવા તૈયાર હોય. મને ઘણીવાર નવાઈ લાગે અને કાંઈ સિક્રેટ નથી એને કાંઈ સંભાળીને નથી રાખવાનું. હું જે પૂછું એના સવાલ આપે છે. પણ I realized that man has understood that when you share the knowledge, you grow. And I think he has mastered that. And I admire at this very young age the amount of knowledge that he has acquired, the respect he has for technology, and the way he has built his team. And not just in the diamond industry, but the time that he gives even in education. So he lives. I found him to be a very, very passionate person. He is of course based in Surat, in a much better place than Mumbai, I would think. Please help me welcome Parag Shah. When you hear him, you will know exactly. It is black and white. There is no gray. So Bansali and Company was a name that we have known for many, many years. I've known Jitu Bhai I won't say that I know him extremely well, but I've had the pleasure of meeting him quite a few times. And I also met them in one of when the Kachnu je rehabilitation ચાલતું હતું કેતનભાઈ સાથે અમે we went to some of those villages ત્યારે, and I have greatest admiration for the social work and the responsibility that they take and the amount of resources that they utilize and give back to the community. So thank you. And of course we see all of those qualities in his son Nirav. We all know that the business model has changed dramatically of their business, and Nirav has really made a very significant difference between being just a pure brokerage firm. They used to sell only to Zs, to where they are today. They are diamond manufacturing, jewelry manufacturing, which is not an easy business to be. And we would like to hear from him what are the challenges, what changes did he make. So please help me in welcoming Nirav Bansali. वैसे कैच है just trying. Do you have the question?
Hello.
If I can start off with Russell, who has joined the industry almost 25, 30 years ago. And Rosy Blue was already an established business in those days. And the industry has changed in the last few years. The question, he has seen that transformation from where he was 25, 30 years ago to where it is today. And if you can kind of, how did you work in this challenging environment?
Okay. Thank you for your kind words, Pavan. So to begin with, I think I was fortunate enough to get into Rosy Blue, which was one of the leading companies in those days already. But when I came in, I joined. All the focus was of sales, and that's what me and my dad we were doing. Just two of us selling diamonds. And it was fairly simple. You get the rough from the beers. The Lipangal had established great relationships, and you get the rough, we polish it, and we sell. There was no real big rocket science over there. But post, I think, 95 and 98, a lot of changes started happening, especially Mr. Gareth Penny, who came on the scene as W's sales director and then managing director. He actually changed the entire game, and he said that people who do or they add value in the downstream are the ones who will deserve my rough. So, all the old past relationship based kind of supply was no longer available. You have to demonstrate that you are doing something special and you are the right worthy customer of their rough. So, the old ways of actually just going to DTC and staying there for 1 week and lobbying for the goods through your broker did not really matter anymore. You really have to demonstrate that what are you doing with the rough. So I think post 98 and 2000, the small changes, but all what we did was, and I started is to professionalize the company in a sense, hire an HR person from outside the industry. It was not known before, at least, within the people I knew. Get a CFO, get, people in the sorting section and things like that. So everywhere, what we have done is to either get the talent from within, if we can, or get from outside also. I was completely open to get anybody and everybody who can help me and who can be my sounding board also. It's a big thing, because you are making decisions based in your sort of office, not knowing what the ground realities are sometimes. And you need people who can really be your sounding board, be extremely critical and frank. And I always admire that for people who come to me and say that, Russell, you are going wrong here. And I do believe that, this is the way to go. So that's what we did. I think we invited right people. We saw the changes coming. Rough was very, very important in those days. Supply of rough was the critical thing. And we said, fine, let's model ourselves to appeal to the beers to get our rough diamond in place. Now, rough diamond itself was not enough. And, Papa had already started a factory in Sieves, and, we were already leading in jewelry manufacturing. So how do we strengthen the jewelry manufacturing? Then we need to get into retail, and we had few retail stores, but how do you professionalize that? And we were able to get somebody, an investment banker, who actually came forward. And today in Aura, there is no family member who is working over there. It's purely professionally run over there. So the belief in the right people to put it at the right place, and then to go forward. Those are the small changes actually we did. We did exactly what we are doing. I mean, there is no big, magic wand or something which we had and to change everything. These are small changes. These are small things. Get the right people at the right place and work with them. And then, of course, most importantly, to see, where the future is. And, if it is jewelry manufacturing, that's where the margins are. Or if it is retail, that's where the margins are. This is where you need to invest, and, that's where you have to go. Then that's the place we have to be. So you will ahead of the pack a little bit, and, try and do the best in that we can. Believe in the people. That's it.
I think, and be open to criticism or inviting feedback. I think it's probably one of the key. બીજા પાસેથી સાંભળો અમે શું કરીએ છીએ એમાં શું ઇમ્પ્રુવમેન્ટ થઈ શકે. Few years ago when we started, I think diamond industry was controlled by licenses, import license વગેરે ઘણું હતું, and the entire focus was on exports. We were always talking of exports. Domestic industry was not really that important in many ways. Now India has really emerged as a very significant market. The growth is almost in double digits. My question to Rajiv is, in today's scenario, do diamond business need a global presence? Is it required, or can they just be here and work? What is your take or view on that?
Firstly, thank you for your kind introduction, Nirvana. And I think the question is very valid. Whenever we look at a business, we look at, let's make an office in Antwerp. Let's make an office in New York. I've got another cousin, so let's send them to Hong Kong. This is generally the way we have traditionally looked at businesses and where they should be located. And it was right. I'm not for a minute criticizing that approach. But I think the important thing is that in the past, the business was growing double digit. We needed family members left, right and center to be posted left, right and center in the world. But that in itself was not a guarantee for success and neither for sustainability in the future. So I think first question is a global presence required? I fully do not believe that a global presence is always required to have in this business. I think what is more important is to ask where your presence is required. Because I think it is important that the presence where you are is closest to the customer, is closest to your stakeholders. It's like a family. You tend to, live close to family. In a business, you tend to live close to where your stakeholders are and where you're adding most value. So I would say, I think the global presence by itself is a misnomer. We need to look at where we add value, and therefore we should be based out of that. I think addressing the second part of the question, which is domestic and exports. Again, I think it's all about change. You presented it very well in your slides. I think India as a country was not open. It was not open pre-1990 and pre-liberalization. I think had people even approached to sell product in India, they would have eroded value. And therefore, at that point, the best approach was to focus on export. However, things have changed. The environment is more conducive. And now we all operate within India and probably prefer at some times, certainly not today with the rupee at 60, but at some times to sell more in the domestic market. So I think a mix of the two is always good. It de-risks businesses from impacts. But addressing the global presence, I do not believe so. Yeah.
Rajiv, also in the entry barriers, આ ધંધામાં એન્ટર કરવાનું is not really extremely difficult. If you are from Palanpur, you have uncle, you probably can start with, pardon me if I'm saying something wrong, Arun bhai, but it is relatively easy compared to the other industries, I would say. You could enter. So the entry barriers are relatively pretty low. So trading to તમે ચાલુ કરી જ શકો છો. You can really reach big numbers pretty fast. People become very, very aggressive. હવે આટલા numbers જોઈએ છે. From there, and manufacturing is much more difficult and it requires a lot more investment of time, money, energy, everything. Nirav has in their business changed from trading to manufacturing. So what prompted you to change? Was trading not interesting? Why did you bring this change in your business?
Thank you, Nirvana.
The only constant in business, according to me, is change. Business dynamics are constantly evolving, and this change also brings about opportunities. While our trading business was successful, there was a question. What is the sustainability of this business in the long run? Are our profit margins going to remain the same or they are going to go down? And then we asked ourselves, what are the opportunities that are around us? At that point of time, manufacturing was very fragmented. It was totally unorganized. And there was very limited skills available, and the larger size were controlled by the international companies. And we thought that if we could replicate that model in India, if we could bring about those skills, we could train people, we could learn people management, we could develop a good business over here, and we could make better margins and develop a long-term business for ourselves. The transition wasn't easy. It took a lot of hard work. We had to go through a lot of learnings, people management skills, but finally it paid off. But I'm in no way saying that manufacturing is better or trading is better. What one needs to look at is what currently are we doing? Is our business sustainable? Are there better opportunities that abound or they are around us? Look at our own selves, do a SWOT analysis, and whatever business suits you, maybe within the industry, within the value chain, or even outside the industry. We should just look for opportunity. I'm a strong believer that change brings about opportunity.
Well said, and I think that's true. He has certainly proved that he has created those opportunities and great. Well done. We have also been hearing about the margins, that the margins are declining, and especially in manufacturing, there is a significant investment required. Someone like Parag has not only survived, sorry Nirav, I'm using the word survive, but has thrived. I was told, survive nahi bolta. Sorry. Someone like Parag has thrived. You go to his factory and you talk to him. I don't see diamond on his table. There are people doing. My question to him is, what is your secret? How have you thrived where everyone says, or most of us think that this is a very difficult part of the value chain?
Thanks Nirupa for a wonderful introduction. I'm knowing myself better. And a khush morning to all of you. I like people smiling when I am in dais. And the question is such that there's a broad smile about margin in manufacturing. So just very simple disclosure that there is no secret. Everybody of you know, and there is more wisdom how to make money in manufacturing. But I am asked to talk about that, and I will talk about that. The second point is there are many more people I know who are my dear friends, and they have not just survived or thrived, but they have grown tremendously, and I gladfully respect them, and I will talk generally what it takes to build a great manufacturing enterprise, and what is per se no secret of manufacturing. There is a paradox. If you target making money in manufacturing, you will go boom. Manufacturing is about building enterprise. It is about building an organization. Do you enjoy to see your people grow? They are the people who are going to make profits for you. So what is your focus area? If you simply target where to make money, probably you will go wrong. All great many organizations who have done great in manufacturing have difficult times. They go through the pain times. They do have issues with margin time and again. But what differentiates them? They have immunity to bear that pain. It is not that they don't have pain. And how do you build this immunity? That is the question. It is about building an organization, and how do you build an organization? It is about institutionalizing excellence in your organization. What are the efforts? 8 hours I am in factory, what am I doing? And excellence is not about beating competitors, Arun bhai. And even neighbors. And both of my neighbors are my in-laws. So it is not about beating them. It is beating yourself every day. They are busy beating themselves. Where do they excel every day? And there is a simple, basic, fundamental assumption. Every stone which is mined, with grace of God, not a single woman is going to wear as it is. Somebody will have to polish it. And if I am in the top of the league, there is a value I am adding and I will have my share of value. I may have disproportionate share time and again. I may don't have a linear reward. It may come in lumpy also. In last 20 years, I have seen everything, ups and downs and everything, but the rewards are lumpy. But you should be passionate about growing people, and manufacturing is about that. Your leadership skill is about being a gardener. જે માવજતથી જે કેળવણીથી ઝાડને ઉગાડે ને અને એના ઉગવાની રાહ જોઈ, મૂળિયા કાઢીને જોઈ નહીં, એટલી ધીરજ હોવી જોઈએ. This is what it takes to make profit, and you will see that in something there is in DNA of Surat. There are people who have done great many jobs all over the world, but Surat has this DNA where people are busy beating themselves. And this is what I have learned from all my colleagues, neighbors, competitors. And they have created a culture of excellence. If you see the technology penetration, how do we use IT? Globally corporations spend 1% of their revenue on IT in manufacturing. Where are we? Are we investing? So this is what it takes to actually ensure that you survive bad times and you make good in good times. And this is, it will never be linear.
Just if I can add into the example he gave about challenging yourself, and I think we have athletes. They are constantly beating their own records, be it world record, Olympic records, so they are constantly practicing. They do only that. You look at the F1 drivers, they're constantly practicing because they want to beat their own records, and I think that's where they become world famous, that's where they excel. So great, well said. We talked about having global presence and is it required, or could we just be presence in India? That brings me to a question for you, Rajiv, which is there a room only for big companies, where there are lots of cousins and brothers and sisters and brother-in-laws, or there is room for small or medium-sized businesses?
Nirupa, in a very humorous way, I think big companies are looking to become efficient without using the word small. But I think the key here is efficient. I think it doesn't matter whether you're big, medium, small. I think it's important that whatever size you are very efficient. I think there was one word on your slide which I picked up as a USP of Palanpuris as resource optimizers. And આજે આપણે કોઈ બી આપણા ઘરમાં બી હોઈએ કે ઓફિસમાં હોઈએ અને આપણે જોઈએ કે લાઇટ ચાલુ છે તો હું તો રૂમમાં જઈને લાઇટ બંધ કરી કાઢું. And that is again what I relate to that word resource optimizer, and it is just coming to the efficiency part. I speak to my wife every day કે મારું કબાટ કેટલું ક્લીન છે, તારું કેમ આવું છે. હવે એને શું કર્યું છે કે હવે એને કબાટના આગળ એક દરવાજો બનાવ્યો છે. એટલે she has become more efficient. But I think the serious thing is, I think it's important that we all look at efficiency. We all look at how to improve what we have in a much better way. આજે મોટું રાખીને 4 ઓફિસો રાખવી કે 40 ઓફિસ રાખવી કે એક ઓફિસમાં કામ ચાલે છે. I think that question needs to have a very clear answer rather than coming to the fact that મારે 4 ઓફિસ જોઈએ છે અને 4 જગ્યાએ જોઈએ છે. And to be honest, I mean, our company does not have a US presence. It is by choice. It is not because of any other reason. We have chosen not to have an office in the US. And we are driving our business in a different way to access the US market. So again, I'm just sharing some elements of, where we believe that size is not everything. I think it's about, being true to what you can deliver.
That, and also I think it helps us to understand that there are different business models which can be successful. It is not one size fits all. I think we have to look at who we are, what resources we have, what our ultimate objectives are, and I think you said key, which is being efficient. પરાગભાઈએ બધાને હસાવ્યાને કીધું કે હા ટેકનોલોજી જોઈએ, આ પીપલમાં ધ્યાન આપો બધું, પણ આજકાલ ટેકનોલોજીમાં પૈસા કેટલા ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરવા પડે છે ને માર્જિન નથી, ક્યાંથી પૈસા લાવી આટલા?
I think the question, આપણે ઝવેરીઓ છીએ. Question is, what is expensive and what is cheap? It is the value proposition. Nothing is expensive and nothing is cheap. દવાની દુકાનમાં જઈને એક દવા કોઈ મને મફત આપે ને તો બી મારા માટે બહુ મોંઘી છે જો જરૂર ન હોય તો, અને કોઈ માટે લાઈફ સેવિંગ હોય લાખો રૂપિયા આપીને. So we have to understand what is the value proposition and where does it fit in my product segment. 2 લાખ રૂપિયાનું એક મશીન મોંઘું છે કારણ કે આપણે 2000 વાળું જોયેલું જ ન હોત તો. So let us understand what value it brings onto the table, and you have to evaluate from that viewpoint. Is technology expensive? Sometimes it is expensive not to have technology. તમે ધંધામાં જ નહીં હશો, એની કિંમત શું છે? So let us not say it on face value. આપણે છે ને એના સ્ટીકર કાર્ડ, એનું પેલું પ્રાઇસ ટેગ જોઈને નક્કી નહીં કરીએ કે આ મોંઘું છે ને સસ્તું છે. આપણે એનો શું ઉપયોગ કરી શકીએ છીએ, આપણા પ્રોડક્ટ સેગમેન્ટમાં કેટલી વેલ્યુ એડ કરશે, ક્યાં પેબેક છે, ભલે ને ગમે એટલું મોંઘું હોય, વોટ ડિફરન્ટ ડઝ ઇટ મેક? એક બહુ સરસ એનાલોજી ડ્રો કરવી છે. હું એકવાર લંડનની એક બુક શોપમાં, તો એક રીબા કરીને એક મોટી આર્કિટેક્ચરલ કોલેજ છે, એની એક બુક સ્ટોર છે. હું ત્યાં ગયો, બધા થીમ્સ એન્ડ હડસનના બધા ટાઇટલ કે મારા લંડનથી ખરીદવા છે. સાલા બધા મોંઘા, 80 પાઉન્ડ, 90 પાઉન્ડ, 100 પાઉન્ડથી ચાલુ થાય, એટલે આમ થોડા મોંઘા લાગ્યા. ત્યાં ઉપર નજર ગઈ તો એને એક બહુ સરસ લાઈન લખેલી હતી કે if education is expensive, try ignorance. હવે એ બુકની વેલ્યુ પ્રોપોઝિશન જો હું સમજું તો હવે શું છે? એવી જ રીતે ટેકનોલોજીની બી જો વેલ્યુ પ્રોપોઝિશન નહીં સમજશો તો પછી ગરબડ છે. ઇટ ઇઝ અબાઉટ વિવેક વાપરવાની જરૂર છે કે ક્યાં જરૂર છે. આપણો પ્રોબ્લેમ એ હોઈ શકે કે આપણે બાજુવાળે લીધું ને એટલે લેવું છે, તો ગરબડ. So that is it.
Thank you. But I still have another question as a follow-up to you. જે ટેકનોલોજીની વાત કરી, what you're saying sounds all good, સાંભળવાની બહુ મજા આવી ગઈ, પણ અમે નાના મેન્યુફેક્ચરર છે, હું આટલો એક્સપેન્સિવ, where am I going to bring it from? I have a small factory where maybe 20, 40, 50 wheels. I survived in the past. Does it mean there is no room for me today?
અગેન આમાં થોડું છે ને વિવેકની જરૂર છે. આમાં કન્ટેક્સ એવો છે ને કે આઈ કેનોટ બ્લાઇન્ડલી સે કે એને લઈ લેવી જોઈએ કે એને નહીં લેવી જોઈએ. એનું બિઝનેસ મોડલ સમજવું પડે. એના કેટલા બધા આઉટકમ છે કે તું એટલે જ નાનો છે કદાચ. ઇટ કેન બી સો. ડોન્ટ ગેટ મી, લાઈક મીન્સ એ સમજવું પડે. અને દેર આર ચાન્સીસ કે ઘણા મોટા નાના થઈ ગયા કારણ કે બધું ખોટી રીતે કામ કરી નાખ્યું. એવું પાસ્ટમાં બન્યું છે. ઓટોમેટિક મશીન્સ આવેલા હતા સુરતમાં ઇન 80s. બંગાળવાળાએ બી નહીં લીધા ને ફેક્ટરી બંધ થઈ ગઈ. નહીં, આઈ મીન ધીસ ઇઝ હિસ્ટ્રી. ઇટ ઇઝ નોટ મી સેઇંગ સમથિંગ. દેર આર ફેક્ટરીઝ કે જ્યારે વર્કર આપણે ત્યાં 2000 રૂપિયા મળતો હતો ત્યારે 20 લાખનું મશીન લઈને આવ્યો પોલિશ કરવા માટે. તો ઇટ વોઝ નોટ રિક્વાયર્ડ એટ ધેટ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ ટાઈમ.
Thank you. We have also few young men and women here, and I think the questions for them that they may be confronted with, and even parents માટે કે હવે next શું કરીએ. We have someone like Russell here, whose son joined just a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, the business? About 4 years ago. Very brave man. So my